Next we'll present a very rare, very beautiful, extraordinary composition by my Guruji Dr.Mangalampalli Balamuralikrishna sir on the legend Sri Muthuswamy Dikshitar. I have spoken a lot in many venues about Maharaja Swathi Thirunal, about Balamuralikrishna, about M.D. Ramanathan, about Tyagaraja, but I rarely get a chance to speak about Dikshitar. So just a few words about Dikshitar. There is no need to compare this person or that. It's like comparing coffee and tea. We might like coffee, we might like tea more. Each composer is great in his own way. But Dikshitar, the way he has handled the Sanskritam language, we have a crown with jewels. The jewels are not stuck on the crown, they are studded. So the way Dikshitar uses the lyrics, every word, every syllable is like a precious stone which is studded on the composition. His Sanskritam is something else altogether. Like Kalidasa uses Sanskritam, Maharaja Swathi Thirunal uses Sanskritam, Adi Shankara uses Sanskritam, and the way Sanskritam language itself is used by each of these people is very, very unique, dynamic and special. Nowadays, everyone is armed with a smartphone and people take photos and videos of whatever they see. You are having a cup of coffee, you take a photo and put it on Instagram. So that is the current thing which is happening in 21st century. While Dikshitar was the first person on record to have done that. Like Adi Shankara, 250 years ago, Dikshitar traveled the length and breadth of India, from north to south, east to west. And if we take a map of India and we start putting dots on temples about which Dikshitar has written composition, the whole of India will have ... like that, because he explored the length and breadth of India, and instead of writing just Nama Vali Rama Rama Krishna Krishna, he would find out the speciality of each temple and incorporate all that information in these compositions. They are like mini video recordings which he has left behind, which is extraordinary considering it happened 250 years ago. That is one specialty. The second specialty was that all these great composers were exposed to Western music brought by the British rulers, and some of them composed small compositions we call Western Notuswarams, which are original Western tunes for which these people have put lyrics. So in that, Dikshitar stands tall and above everybody else because he made more than 30 of these Western Notuswarams. So if we look at an average of Dikshitar compositions being around 300 and around 30 are Western Notuswarams, means 1 in 10 songs of Dikshitar is a Western Notuswaram. So he had that playful nature also. He didn't feel it was below him to take a Western tune and put Sahityam for that. There's a composition, Vande Meenakshi, for example. Vande Meenakshi Tvam Sarasija. So that is a very naughty composition in English. Drinking, dancing, breaking windows, like that. It's a Gundaism song where young men, they drink and they do all sorts of naughty things. That is the original song lyrics, and he has taken that composition and made this extraordinary song on goddess Madhurei Meenakshi. Then now again in the 21st century, even now there is so much of politics with religion and caste, which many of us have experienced directly also. So the higher caste people believe that the power of mantras, bijaksharams, they should be restricted to only high caste people, and lower caste people should not get that. While Dikshitar was this broad-minded gentleman who felt that mantra balam the benefits should be enjoyed by everybody. So he made the set of Navagraha Kritis, Kamalamba Navavarna Kritis. In all these compositions, he has incorporated these powerful mantras in the compositions so that whoever sings these compositions correctly will get the benefit of these mantras. So that kind of extraordinary brain, so much ahead of his time, that was Muthuswamy Dikshitar. So my Guruji, Dr.Mangalampalli Balamuralikrishna, in fact another connection between Vinu, for example, and Dikshitar is that it was Muthuswamy Dikshitar's brother Baluswamy Dikshitar who first on record adopted the Western violin for Indian classical music. Then from Baluswamy Dikshitar, Vadivelu learnt Western violin and he came to Travancore and he was very, very, very close to Maharaja Swathi Thirunal. And Maharaja Swathi Thirunal had a very big hand in encouraging the role of violin as a permanent instrument in Carnatic music concerts. So it is thanks to Dikshitar's brother Vadivelu and Maharaja Swathi Thirunal that we have Vinu here today. So it's all connected. While Balamuralikrishna, he was a prodigy who started giving performances when he was 6 years old. So when he was around 12 years old, he met one Swamiji who said, "You are singing very nicely, but you remember Tyagaraja. Why? Because Tyagaraja has left behind such a great wealth of compositions." So he said, "You should also leave behind some compositions which will remain for posterity." Then he says, there are the 72 Melakarta Ragas. In a normal Carnatic concert, we hear Kalyani, Shankarabaranam, Karagara Priya, Mayamolagala, Panturale, a few of them only. But so many Melakarta Ragas are just, it's there in the chart, but they are sleeping. So why don't you compose songs in all the 72 Melakarta and give them a form? So this was told by the Swamiji to 12, 13-year-old Balamuralikrishna. And he sat down and over the next 4 or 5 years, by the time he was 18 years old, Balamuralikrishna composed songs in all the 72 Melakarta Ragas and brought out a book also. I have seen the original book. So in that, one composition is on Muthuswamy Dikshitar. So this ragam is called Sucharitra. So normally this is one of the Vivadi Raagas which is very dissonant. So where many notes come close to each other, the gaps are very strange. So normally we would never imagine that a raga like Sucharitra can be made even bearable, let alone enjoyable. So the Arohana Varohana goes ma sari ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga ma ga re sa ga re sa ni sa re ga ma pa da. This is how Sucharitra goes. So Balamurali said, as a 14-year-old, he made this song. Every line, every word is dripping with the essence of Muthuswamy Dikshitar. He says, Chinthayami Santhatham, I think always. Muthuswamy Dikshitam, I think of Muthuswamy Dikshitar always. This simple Pallavi, and it is in Jhampatala, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in Jhampatalam itself is not usual. Then Dikshitar was a devotee of Lord Subramanya, who is the son of Lord Shiva. So he says, Antakari Sutta. Shiva is the destroyer. Antakari Sutta Mantropasana Tatparam. He does upasana to the mantrams of Subramanya Swami. Then there's a story that there's a place where there is no rain at all, and Dikshitar sang Amritavarshini and made it rain. So the reference to that, Antakari Sutta Mantropasana Tatparam Anandamrita Varshana Karakam. So he made it rain, but Dikshitar's music makes it rain with joy. So Anandamrita Varshana Karakam Varam. Apara Raga Laya Abhijnam. Apara Raga, incredible master about both music and rhythm. Ramaswamy Suputram. He is the son of Ramaswamy Dikshitar. So sometimes when I teach Dikshitar compositions, I ask the students, before telling this, I ask them, you know who is the father of Muthuswamy Dikshitar? And people look around. Sometimes somebody might say, Ramaswamy Dikshitar? Yes. Then I ask, do you know who was the wife of Dikshitar? Then there is another, I myself don't know. So I'll say, Mrs. Dikshitar. so this is Ramaswamy Suputram. Then Parama Pavitram Sucharitram. So the name of the raga Sucharitra is brought, which is also a Dikshitar specialty. He used to bring in many compositions. The raga mudra will be there. Then the charanam. So Dikshitar was a veena player, and one of the most special aspects of veena playing, though it is done in singing and violin, but veena specialty is tanam playing. So Tanam Naganam Tatanam Tanam Tanam Nam Ta Nam Tanam Tatanam Tanam 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 Taganam Taranam Taganam Tanam. So this tempo is this ideal dignified tempo. Num tum 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 tum, we can sing like that. But this tempo, that is why the varnams are called Tana varnams. That gives an idea of how ideally Tanam tempo should be. So the entire charanam, which is very small, is like Tanam. Apurva Panchalinga. So Dikshitar made Panchalinga songs on the Shiva temples with the 5 elements. Apurva Panchalinga Navavarnadi Daiva Para Kruti Kartaram. He made compositions on these gods. Then Balamuralikrishna's signature, Murali Rava Hitam. He enjoys Murali, sound of Murali. Another Dikshitar's specialty is Yati. So where there is Srotovaha Yati and Gopucha Yati. Gopucha Yati is like tapering like the tail of a cow. It becomes small. Tyagaraja Yoga Vaibhavam, Agaraja Yoga Vaibhavam, Raja Yoga Vaibhavam, Yoga Vaibhavam, Vaibhavam, Bhavam, Vam. So like that. The other is the opposite. So here he says Nipunam. He is an expert. What? Gana Nipunam. Deshiya Gana Nipunam. Marga Deshiya Gana Nipunam. So this is, and it is in this Jhampatalam, in this weird ragam Sucharitra, composed by not Dr.Mangalampalli Bala, but Kutti Balamuralikrishna, who was only 14 years old. Like his name was only Muralikrishna because he became a celebrity at the age of 6, 7. Muralikrishna was a kid, he was called Bala Muralikrishna, which coincides with today's birthday boy. Sri Thirunal Maharaja was called Rama Varma, but because he became a king at the age of 16, they added Bala Rama Varma. So a Bala Muralikrishna composition for the birthday of Bala Rama Varma. Thank you. ആദ്യം ക്ലാപ്പ് ചെയ്ത ആൾക്ക് വലിയ താങ്ക്സ്. ഒരാൾക്കെങ്കിലും ക്ലാപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ തോന്നിയില്ല. The specialty with this composition is that if I just play it on the veena, we don't say anything. Nobody knows the song. We just play it on the veena. People will listen and feel, oh, this must be a Dikshitar song because it's constructed like a Dikshitar song. Chinthayami Chinthayami Santhatham Chinthayami Santhatham Sri Muthuswamy Dikshitam Chinthayami Santhatham Sri Muthuswamy Dikshitam Chinthayami Antakari Sutta Mantropasana Tatparam Antakari Sutta Mantropasana Tatparam Anandamrita Varshana Karakam Varam Antakari Sutta Mantropasana Tatparam Anandamrita Varshana Karakam Varam Apara Ragalaya Bhijnam Apara Ragalaya Bhijnam Ramaswamy Suputram Apara Ragalaya Bhijnam Ramaswamy Suputra Parama Pavitram Apara Ragalaya Bhijnam Ramaswamy Suputra Parama Pavitram Sucharitram Chinthayami Santhatham Sri Muthuswamy Dikshitam Chinthayami Apurva पञ्चलिङ्ग नवावरणादिदैव परकृति कर्तार मुरलीरवहित अपूर्व पञ्चलिङ्ग नवावरणादिदैव परकृति कर्तार मुरलीरवहितं निपुणं गान निपुणं देशीय गान निपुणं मार्गदेशीय गान निपुणं निपुणं गान निपुणं देशीय गान निपुणं मार्गदेशीय गान निपुणं चिन्तयामि सन्ततं श्री मुत्तुस्वामी दीक्षित